Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. Why do you want to be an Ogden City Council person?
Well, thank you for having me here. My name is Priscilla Martinez, and I'm running for Ogden City Council District 3. And as a first generation Latina, I quickly noticed the disparities between different communities at a young age. For example, I remember traveling 1 hour by bus to get to the other side of town to go to school because my local high school in my neighborhood didn't have the same resources. I also remember waiting long lines at the local health clinic because we didn't have the best medical insurance. And with this in mind, I started my career as a caseworker in Ogden with DCFS. And I noticed the wide disparities within our communities, specifically within our Spanish speaking communities. I witnessed just heart wrenching scenes of children translating documents to their parents because there were no Spanish forms for our Latino Hispanic populations, or having to translate them on the spot so they can be aware of their possible court date. And then I was actually elected as the chair of the Diversity Commission here in Ogden, and I had the honor of working with other groups to just decrease the marginalization between communities. And what our commission found is that many of our local residents didn't have information on how to access these resources. So all of these experiences had really motivated me to run for Ogden City Council. But what really propelled me to run was I was attending a planning meeting at Union Station. And during this meeting, I witnessed projects being ranked based on their importance and discussion of where they should be implemented. As I walked into the room and I looked around, and what I noticed is that those who were going to be mostly impacted by these changes were not in the room. So this is why I'm running for city council. It's to provide a voice for the communities that have not been at the table making these decisions. And we all know how it feels not to be heard and how frustrating that can be. And we all essentially have a stake in this, and we must look out for our neighbor and one another. And so I ask that you vote for Priscilla Martinez, meeting people where they are.
Oh, thank you. What is the biggest challenge facing Ogden City right now, and what is your proposed solution?
There are several challenges facing Ogden City, like housing, right? And actually development. Um, what I have seen is the lack of citizen input in Ogden's development. While development is good, we have to make sure that the city is protecting our underserved populations, our low income, fixed income, and overall our current residents in Ogden. While housing and recreation is good for the economic well-being of the city, I believe that we can make these progressions in a sustainable and inclusive way. Multiple municipalities and states have started transitioning to sustainable planning that essentially doesn't leave behind our lower and middle income communities. And hopefully I can draw on some of their plans and some of these ideas and collaborate with some of the other city council members so we can essentially provide cohesive resolutions. And hopefully we're able to implement such development, and so hopefully we'll be able to be ahead of the curve, and hopefully I can use my experience and knowledge, what I've learned in the community, to create just a properly planned resolution that will set up for long-term success. So as your city council representative, I pledge that I work cohesively with the other city council members, and just while always standing up for the values of Ogden and being a voice for the underserved populations as well.
Okay, thank you. In what ways do you think the city council has been working well, and in what ways has it not? And then given that, what would you change?
Yeah, so, I believe Ogden City Council has done a great job at considering the differences of opinions of their constituents and seeking outside resources to make a final decision. For example, the Ogden City Council saw initial recommendation from the Natural Resources and Sustainability Stewardship Committee on how to move forward with the Community Renewable Energy Act program. Ultimately, the committee did agree unanimously that the council should adopt this program. So did this allow the council to vote in favor of the program to gain additional insights of its impact? However, where I think the Ogden City Council can improve on is their method of communication to the community, and especially to our undeserved communities that may not necessarily access information by going online, but instead may seek information through a trusted friend or resource. As I have been canvassing my specific district, the common theme that I heard was, how do I access the programs that the city offers? And how do I find more information about the development happening in Ogden? And I've said this in a previous council meeting, is that we need to elevate our nonprofit organizations who have access to hard to reach communities in order to communicate the changes that are happening in Ogden and overall provide better information to the residents of the community on how to get involved.
Okay. Thank you so much. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
I have lived in Ogden. I've worked here for several years, and I love the city and what it has provided. And I'm running for city council to hopefully be able to be that voice for what the city needs.
Okay. Thank you so much for being with me today.